You or someone you know has had a summoning session ruined by him. Let me try to make you feel a little bit better. Greetings and salutations, my name is Deltran, helping you build killing machines so that you get the most out of Fire Emblem Heroes. Doing builds for Hawkeye, the Desert Guardian. You and I will talk about his matchups and build options for him, but first let's get his digits. Using my rubric, we want to see hit points 42 or higher, offensive stats 35 or higher, and defensive stats 32 or higher. We meet one of these, 45 hit points. It's really right in the middle of all of his contemporaries, but it's at the higher end of that, which is great. 32 attack isn't too bad, but it does mean that we're not going to be packing a gigantic wallop across the board, but we are one of the stronger green axe units out there. 22 speed's abysmal. We're at the bottom. We're on the bottom of so many lists. There's only 2 people out there that have a lower speed. To put that in context, the defense is okay, the resistance is great. But that speed, though? Ugh. Let's take a look at what he swings with. Killer Axe, Might 11, reduces his cooldown trigger. That's good because he has the 5 cooldown Growing Light. So this guy packs a really, really big special. So I guess he's supposed to get beat up on and then use it. Well, we'll talk about that one in a moment. Death Blow, though, really does help out his hurting potential. He needs something to help him out while he has a cooldown 5 skill there. And Threatened Attack is nice because, as we saw, we're going to get doubled a heck of a lot. Threatened Attack is there to set up your turn whenever you just know you're going to greet incoming attackers. Threatened Attack is there to help you out, hopefully. Let's take a look at the obituaries. 16, 19, and 133. Jeez, Hawkeye, what are you guarding? Seriously, what are you guarding? I'm sorry, I've just lost my composure. I just don't know what to do with Hawkeye. That's not true. On defense, 144 and 123, so you can't attack with him, you can't defend with him. What can you do? Well, there's a few people that we knock out there. There's a lot of people that knock us out. Obviously, a bunch of red. I'm not even going to go through them all. You can see the faces here. You want to be very selective on who you engage with, and since there's so many draws, that's probably where you want to spend your focus time. Alright, let me go to the camera. Hawkeye is very, very strange on the field, and the reason why I say this is he has a killer weapon, but he still has a high cooldown special. Whenever you see something like that, and you see the high defenses that he's sporting, you're like, oh, I know what you do. You let him get hit. You let him get doubled. Here's the problem, is that there are lots of melee units that he can go ahead and just stand and take hits from and get doubled on. There's not a lot of mages that let you do that. You can tank one non-red mage doing that, and your special's not charged. You need to take a second hit from that mage, and guess what? Nobody's running weak mages. As a matter of fact, other than Odin, that's the only weak blue mage there is out there. You let a blue mage double tap you, you're gonna fall down. You're gonna have a lot of hit points comparatively after that mage first double taps you. But first of all, every blue mage is gonna double tap you, and second of all, yeah, 4 hits, you're done. You're gone. So you gotta be very careful. You have to pace how you use Hawkeye. You can't run him down the middle of the field. You can have him run support for mages or to protect another unit, because they're gonna come right after Hawkeye because he's gonna be so easy to double, and that's gonna turn into a little bit of extra damage. One thing that does help is making sure that his threatened attack goes off the round before. That way he is taking 10 less damage, because he's getting hit twice. He shares that 22 with so many units, not just in green, like across the board. 22 is terrible. It's not the worst. There's only a few units that have lower than 22, and you can double the lowest, and that's it. Otherwise, you do have to play him a lot smarter than you would think you'd have to play a large muscle-bound guy with an axe. You need to find a way to remove 1 from your cooldown counter before you take a double tap from an enemy, so that you could actually use it the next turn. Of course, by this point in time, that means you're thinning down things a lot. I think Hawkeye is interesting in that he was supposed to be a mage tank, but they didn't want him to be a tank. So when it came down to it, they gave him a pretty good defensive score, honestly. A really great for the way other heroes are built. Really great resistance. Even though it doesn't hit my rubric level, it's still good. So whenever you put him on the field, they didn't want him to just trounce over everything. Yeah, so let's go ahead and gimp him with a bad speed. And it's a big handicap. but you have to play around it. You can actually use it to attract attention to yourself. As long as it's not a red unit, it's a good thing. You're going to keep them off of your mages, and you're going to keep them off of everybody else, because unless it's a Delthea and the unit is green, somebody with that low of a defense, even with a high speed, they're probably going to come right for Hawkeye instead. He has a hit, and he's going to retaliate, but if you adjust your mage just so, the enemy will probably be like, oh, do I want to take no damage but only deal a fistful, or do I want to deal a crap ton and take a hit that's not going to kill me? That's the balance you're striking there. So there's a lot of weird corner caveats here. I'm not saying he's the best all-around hero, and everybody who's put him on the field has found this out. But he does have a place. He is very interesting to use. I've seen him used in Grand Hero battles and Bound Hero battles. PvP Arena, at least up until the build we're ready to talk about, I would not bring him into. But, without further ado, if you got a pity rate breaker and you just want to add to him a little bit, Green Tone Breaker is a wonderful skill. Really, any breaker skill is going to be wonderful. You can configure this to whatever is vexing you the most, but I recommend Green Tone Breaker. He can handle a hit from a blue mage, even a souped up one. He can't handle a hit from every green mage, especially souped up ones. You need to have Green Tone Breaker there for that. Although if you're really worried about Kagero, Dagger Breaker is a fantastic option. Escape Route is there. He's going to get dropped on hit points so quickly. Escape Route is there to let you move, and hopefully his special will be charged. He'll probably be able to wreck the battlefield at just the right place for you. Wonderful trick. Escape Route is great. And you know what? Since he obviously just can't stay on the front line because he's not going to take that beating, let him get out of your way. Give him hit and run. He can go up there, smack something, charge up, run back. You can put someone else up there in front of him, and then you can probably rinse and repeat for another round and a half for him. So give that a shot. Let's take a look at this build for him. 73, 31, and 64 on defense. We'll talk about the DPT here in a moment. We're going to give him Brave Axe. That'll let him double tap. That's going to let him charge up Iceberg faster? Hey, Iceberg is great. He has a good resistance, and whenever you give him Fury, it's to the point where it's slightly better than Luna. So that's what you want to do with that. Reposition so that he can either remove people from the way of harm so that he could take his one hit, or to put people in the way of harm so that he does not take the hit. Green Tone Breaker is here, just as we discussed a moment ago. It's going to help us handle all those green mages. And Threatened Attack 3 is still there as a just-in-case measure. You could substitute this for a Hone or a Spur skill if you need something like that for your team. If you don't, Threatened Attack is there to help save his bacon. Now we'll talk about that DPT. There's quite an impressive lineup of people that we fight here, honestly, when it comes down to it. We kill a bunch of archers. We kill a bunch of mages, green and blue alike. This is what he's here for. He is supposed to go after those units. You can see the draws down below. A bunch of people that have ranged attacks he doesn't kill. Tana doesn't kill us whenever we attack her, which is great. That doesn't happen every day. All the red units and all the really heavy hitting green units are there when we initiate against Hector. That doesn't bode well for us whenever we go up against the likes of Xander or anyone else. That also doesn't go well for us. But let's take a look at what happens when we're on defense. Something interesting is happening here. On defense, he doesn't have any wins, which is fine. What we're looking for here is, if you look down below at all the people we're defending against all the green mages. We're even defending against a Celica, who has the Blade Tome, and also has the Horsey honed buff on her. I don't think I've ever mentioned this before. Everybody here, if they are a Horsey or a Flyer or an Armor user, they each get a goad, whatever one is most beneficial or detrimental at the time. Usually, though, for Horseys and Flyers, that ends up being goad. I worded that a little bit wrong. Ward is what Armor tends to get a lot because they tend to stick around, and if it's Effie, well, she's gonna mess you up. But if you take a look at this, we have a draw against all of the mages that count, and we have a draw against a lot of people. Now we're losing against Brave Linde. The thing is, with Brave Linde, you need her to not have that goad buff, and then you'll be able to block her. Thing is, she runs with Reinhardt so many times, the fact that she has a goad is almost a given. But if you can get to her without that goad, you'll be able to tank a hit from her. So this is a definite way to bait a lot of the meta, and it's also a definite way to get rid of a lot of those pestersome green mages. And hey, do me a favor, if you like this video and you got some information out of it, hit that like button. If you know someone who had their pity rate ruined by Hawkeye, share this with them. Maybe they'll go ahead and get something out of it. My name is Deltran. Thank you guys so much. I greatly appreciate all of you, and until next time, take